Okay, we are recording Team Legacy Fit meeting. Today is June 11th, 2020. And today we are going to talk about the Success Club Tracker and how to use it for Instagram. All right, so I am going to share my screen. Can you guys see the Success Club Tracker? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So Beachbody created this Success Club Tracker, I want to say about a year ago. And it was a lot of research that they did with some of the most successful coaches. A small group of coaches really sat down with Beachbody Corporate and told them everything that they were doing with their business to be successful. And it really firmed up what Beachbody already knew around the 4 vital behaviors, but they were able to describe those 4 vital behaviors differently. And it led to them creating the Success Club system and this business activity tracker. So we call this the BAT, B-A-T. And in theory, and actually more than just in theory, in reality, if you are to sit down and do this daily, and you don't have to check off every box every day, and this one's a little different, doesn't have the actual boxes in it. But there's a different one that has little check boxes in it, and I will find that one. But this one will be good enough for this training as it shows everything that we need. It has like these little check boxes right here. But anyway, Beachbody created this tracker for the coaches to follow so that if they follow it on a daily basis, just like you do with your workouts and your nutrition, anything you do consistently over time will show consistent results. And so the first thing that they put up here is to, actually the first thing is up here, is to be informed. So NWC stands for National Wake Up Call. So checking off that you listen to the National Wake Up Call for the week. And then you'll both be able to check off this one, attending a team call during the week. So that's the first part, is just being in tune with your team, being part of the team, and being informed in what's going on in the greater Beachbody community. Then you want to reset your intentions and reset your purpose for being a coach. So that would be writing down your why. And it's so important, even though you can, if anyone tells you, or anyone asks you what your why is, you can probably state it, but it's so important to constantly write this down because it will evolve over time. So if you're sitting down and starting a new BAT for the week, and Beachbody's weeks go Thursday through Wednesday. So if you're sitting down Thursday morning and filling out your why, it may be different than what you filled out the previous week. And then it's great to remind yourself of your target market. Who are you talking to? For me, 20-year-old women are typically not my market. My market is 30 to 50-year-old moms and dads, hockey parents, parents of twins, dog lovers, sports fans. Those are typically the people that I connect with the most. So I remind myself who I am focused on making a connection with. And then you start going into the vital behaviors. So first one, we talk about this quite a bit, is being proof of the product. Doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, because that's how you're going to get your results, and that is how you're going to develop your story and be able to show how these products have impacted your life over time.
Hey Joe, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm dyslexic, so I cannot see what's inside those squares. Am I missing something? You're
Uh,
talking about bullet point number 1, but there's under right there to the right.
yeah.
What is that?
Okay. So you know what? This version that I'm pulling up online is not a good one. Um, let me see if I can find a better one. It actually has checkboxes.
Okay.
And so for this part right here, the checkboxes are missing on this version, but you can see, let me stop sharing for a second so you can see me. You can see that there are actual checkboxes on
Okay,
the
yeah.
real version. So on this version, the heart means that you did your workout, and the
Okay.
little leaf represents Shakeology.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I know it was probably
No, that's
insignificant
fine.
detail, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
No, not at all. Every other box only has a check mark. So
Okay,
going
thank you.
down, you won't miss anything else. But just the logos, the heart with the little pulse in it is that you did your workout. And this little leaf is part of the logo for Shakeology.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. So after you've been approved for the product, number 2 is a big step. And this is where you're growing your business. You're connecting, you're inviting, and you're following up with people. Okay. And I promise I'll get into some Instagram tips in this section. So the first thing is you're initiating connections and adding followers. So how do you do that? Well, there's multiple ways of doing that in both Facebook or Instagram. One, you can, let's talk about Facebook first. You can look at friends who you feel are ideal, people that you want to work with. Then you can look at their friends. Maybe you're not Facebook friends with their friends yet, but if you can see their friends and this person that you are friends with is an ideal person that you'd like to work with, or someone who you would like to coach, chances are a lot of their friends will fall into that category as well. So many of my friends are friends of friends. Another thing you can do, Facebook has a section of possible connections, people you might know. You can search down that list and take a look at different people's profiles, see if they have common interests as you, and you can just send a friend request. And that's generally the way. Oh, there's one more way that I will expand my network on Facebook, and that is in groups that I'm in. If I'm in a group that, I'm in a lot of Shar-Pei groups because I own 2 Shar-Peis, and they're my favorite dogs. So obviously, other people who are in Shar-Pei groups love Shar-Peis. So we instantly have a connection there. So being part of the group and contributing in that group, I've made a lot of friends and have expanded my network that way. On Instagram, it's a little bit different, but you can look at connections, people that you're following and who are following you, who you feel are part of your tribe or your niche or however you say that word. And you can look at their followers and people that they're following, because again, just like in Facebook, friends of friends are generally similar people. And if you're connected with some person, you're likely to be connected with a lot of their connections. Another option is to search hashtags. So put in hashtags that mean something to you. Again, like I used the Shar-Pei example. I use Sharpay hashtags often in my posts. So I'll search Sharpay and I will see other Sharpay owners. Or I'll search twins or dad of twins or mom of twins, and I got a connection with people using that hashtag. And then I can look at their page, read a few of their posts, see if there's somebody that I would like to connect with. And then we have what is called a 5-3-1 method. And you don't have to do this exactly the way that it's called out, but the theory is that you like 5 posts, you comment on 3 of them, and that leads to 1 follow back. Do you have to comment on posts? Does it have to be 2? Does it have to be 3? Could it be 2? Whatever you feel is authentic to you. I mean, I would not comment on a post just to comment. But if you've looked at somebody's page and they seem like someone who you would like to make a connection with, there's got to be a reason for that. And it's generally with their posts. Maybe they're traveling to some place that you love to travel or would love to travel. And maybe your comment on their post could be a question about where they've been or something that they've purchased or, whatever is interesting to you. One of the things that I like, and it's not necessarily aligned with Beachbody's philosophy, is I like to drink whiskey. I like to drink scotch and I like to drink bourbon. And so sometimes I will see people posting about a different bourbon and I will ask, about, how they liked it or, what would they compare it to or something like that, just to get, some authentic information back to me, but also showing interest in something that they've posted. So that is the top tips that I would use to expand my network. The next one is doing a social media post. This one says social media post that showcases the benefits of your healthy lifestyle and has a call to action. I check this box off even if it's missing some of those components, because I feel like we don't need to be doing a call to action every single day. I do feel that about 2 a week at least is good. 2 or 3 a week is good to do. But you want to be posting about you and who you are. So it should not be throwing out Beachbody all the time. In fact, and we can talk about this another day, is about curiosity marketing and leaving the names of Beachbody products out of it. And that's why a lot of people will post, instead of calling things Shakeology or Energize, they will talk about superfoods or come up with a catchy name for Energize. I know a lot of women call it Mama Juice or Unicorn Crack, or there's so many different fun names. There's another male coach on Team Boom called Shane. He calls it Tackling Fuel, which I kind of like. But going with our team name, I call mine Legacy Fuel, because it really fuels me through my workout. So it gives a good description, and it also causes people to ask, what is it? Versus me just giving them the name and then they don't have to ask a question. The whole point of doing your social media posts, whether they're on Instagram or on Facebook, and we'll get into the story part, because this goes for stories as well, is you want to create communication and connection with those who are following you, and you want to create communication and open that up. You want them asking you questions. You want them to be receptive to you reaching out to them. But you want to give them enough information so that when you do reach out to them, that they have a clue of what you're talking about. And a big way I do this is through my stories. I don't post as often as I would like. My goal would be to post at least 4 to 5 times per week, like a standing post. And I don't always do that. I go through kind of waves, and I'm trying to get better on that. But one thing I do show up for every day is my Instagram and Facebook stories. And the way I have it set up, this is one tip, is I've changed my account to my Instagram account to a creator account. And doing that allows me to, it's kind of like the best of both worlds between a business account and a personal account.
So there's a creator account setting?
Yeah, and it's new, relatively new. It's only been around a few months. But
where do we find it? Hang on.
I'm listening. I can show you that after.
Okay, good. Yeah, show me that.
It's in the back where your account is. You can change it to creator, which is great, because the thing I was going back and forth with personal is missing some features. You don't have the ability to look at insights, which is huge. And I could spend a whole call just going over insights. But reviewing your insights in the back is very helpful, because it tells you when your audience is on Instagram. It tells like what days, what times, so you know what is best for you to post, best for you to message people. And it's a little crazy now during this COVID world, because I think people are they're on social media at different times than they used to be. And so, somebody who used to only be on Instagram at like 9 o'clock at night might be on Instagram at 9 o'clock in the morning while they're on a conference call from their house working or something like that. Hey, it's been done before, including in my house. But we have goals to build our business, so we must do what we must do. But insights are very handy, but you're not able to use insights with a personal account. You can with a business account. And another thing you can't use with a personal account is there's a setting in messages to filter by unread messages. And I don't know why they haven't added this for personal, but for me, I post a lot. I tag a lot of people in my stories, and those show up in my messages as messages, even when I tag. So somebody might send me a message, and then I go about, posting my workout video where I'm tagging like 15, 20 people. And then that new message is now buried, and it's like 22, and I have to scroll down a million years to get it. But if I can filter, and there's a couple options. You can flag people as important people that you want to talk to, you don't want to lose sight of, and you can also filter by unread messages with a business account. But you can't do either with a personal account. On the other hand, one benefit of a personal account over a business account is you can post to your stories on Instagram and have them automatically post to your Facebook story. And that is a feature that I love, because I do not like having to post on Instagram and then go through the action of posting again on Facebook. This way, it's like I just do it once and then it automatically does it on its own. And it seems like, especially with videos, they take a lot longer to post on Facebook than they do on Instagram. So that's why this feature is really helpful, but you don't have it with a business account. A business account, you can do it, but you can only post from Instagram business to Facebook business. So when I switched over to a business account, all of my story posts were going to an old business page on Facebook that I don't use anymore. And Facebook doesn't allow you to cross over and do Instagram business to Facebook personal. But that's where Creator comes in. Creator is kind of like the best of both worlds. It's not a full business account, but you do have the ability to flag messages. You do have the ability to sort by unread messages. You do have the ability to use insights. It's not as robust as the business insights, but it's still pretty helpful. And you can post from your Instagram Creator account stories to your Facebook personal page. So that's the one that I recommend using. It's the Creator account. But when you do that, you're able to upload your stories to Instagram, and then they automatically go to Facebook. And that's helpful, not just for saving time, but Facebook stories are starting to pick up. I remember when I started, or Facebook started with stories, and I would have like 100 and something views on an Instagram story clip. And I'd look over at Facebook and I'd be lucky to get like 4 or 5. But Facebook is now picking up where, I'm getting like 60 or 70 people looking at my story clips. And that's really helpful because Facebook tends to be your warmer market. It's more, friends that you've known for a long time, and friends of friends who you've picked up, and actually met, whereas Instagram is a little less formal. It's people that you're meeting basically through Instagram. They could be anywhere all over the world. So I like to keep my warm market warm and have them have the ability to see what I'm doing by being able to easily copy my stories over. All right, so what do you post on your stories? Again, this should not be everything Beachbody. And Marcy, I think you do an excellent job on your stories. You show up just about every day, and you vary it up and you show things about your life, because that's what you want to do. You want the people who are going to be your eventual customers, eventual coaches, to feel like they know you. And Meredith and I know each other from both living in Massachusetts. Well, actually, Meredith lives in New Hampshire, but we know we're a common friend with Dave. And so we met in a different manner, but Marcy, you and I met over on Instagram. And a lot of things that you know about me is from watching my Instagram story, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that I know about you is from watching your Instagram story.
Yeah. This week was like literally the first time I ever used stories, and I just kept watching the stories, and I was like, it's the same thing as posting. So I didn't understand, but now I feel like I'm just starting to utilize it. I like it better because it's quicker.
It is very quick, and vary it up. Use different features. Sometimes you use a picture. Sometimes do a video. You do want to get in the habit, and I know it's nerve-wracking. I don't do it all the time, and I know I need to do it better, and I'm working on it, is to talk more into my stories. Show your face and actually talk as though you're talking to the audience. I always feel weird because I'm like, what's going on? Hey guys, how you doing? I feel like I'm talking to my phone. But think about what information you want to talk about, or how to engage with your audience and just talk. Watch other coaches and watch their stories and see how they do it to get ideas about what to talk about. But Beachbody lays it out here. Things that you want to include in your stories every day are your daily life. And there's a reason why they put that up at the top. They don't want you just posting Beachbody, 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 Beachbody. You shouldn't be taking a picture of Energize and saying, who wants it? That's not what it's all about.
This is where I really struggle because, for example, I didn't post anything at all today. And the reason why is because I have, Meredith, my children are adults.
Yeah.
They were roasting me so hard last night about posting and using social media so much. And another concern I have is like, I don't really get trolls. Like, people aren't really mean to me, but I have a hard time. I feel like I'm almost compromising my safety or something sometimes by posting too much personal stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. So I just try to keep it to like a handful of things, but I would share more. I'm just afraid of what that's going to attract. And I know attracting is good, but I don't want with my situation, I don't want undesirable following. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, I post one picture of myself and just write this nice post, and I have to block people, for just being creeps. And so I don't know. I have days where I'm like all about being consistent with social media and I'm ready to start an online business. And then I have days where I want to just delete my apps and not even go on there. How do you deal with that, with being consistent?
Well, I will say that there is a double standard. Women deal with a lot more crap than men do. Although we do deal with a lot of crap too. I constantly get, I don't even know how to describe these accounts, but it'll be an Instagram account following me that has like 1 or 2 posts. It's of a woman dressed in basically nothing. And then I will have a message. And since I'm not following the account back, it shows up in a message request. And that message request will be like, hey, click on this link to see my videos, or, I'm lonely or whatever like that. And again, I just block. And that's my advice, block. In terms of posting, what to post, you do not have to post your entire life. You post what you feel is comfortable. A good example, some coaches will sit there and say, hey, I made $3,423 today, and it was my biggest check so far. Other coaches will just say, I just got paid from I just got paid with my fitness gig, and it was the biggest check I've ever gotten. And they leave the details out. Some coaches start out one way and then they get into the more details later on. It's whatever people feel comfortable. Some coaches never talk about income on their page because they don't feel comfortable. And you know what? There's no wrong answer. The only right answer is that you talk about what you feel comfortable sharing. Okay, so
that's another, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this again, but my niche, right, are young widows, women my age that might be getting ready to be empty nesters, people with significant, nutrition deficiencies and things like that. And sometimes I'm noticing that when I post and I attract comments, somebody else is going to the people that are commenting because they're like, oh, vulnerable widow, or oh, single mom, or I don't know. It's just like, I feel like some of the hashtags I'm using are like the most hunted. Like, I don't know. I never had this problem before until I narrowed down my niche. Now that I did, it's kind of like I'm just attracting, and the people that are commenting, that are reaching out to me, are also being, you know,
Right.
They're not just coming to follow me, they're following all the people that I'm commenting on. It's almost like it's getting to be a scary place.
I mean, again, the only thing I can say is that if anyone acts out of line, just be quick, look at it, and block. One of the things that I always do, if you guys remember from my stories, and I haven't done it in a while because we haven't had school, is we used to have the bus stop selfie with my kids every morning. And I used to just, this year it started to be 2 because Cam had a different bus time. So he was really early and the twins were still in the later schedule. So I would have 2 pictures with both of them. Usually Cam's was inside because it was like 20 minutes to 7, it's pitch black out, it's winter and it's cold outside. So we stay inside until the bus is coming up the street and then we run out. But the twins, usually 8:15, we're sitting on the step and it's nice and sunny out. And anytime we're taking the picture, I'm making sure that my house number is not in the picture. And I mean, if people want to go the extra step and figure out, look at my name and look at where, I mean, that's like what I always figure, like, what reason are they going to have to do that? They can look up anybody. They can go to any house if they want to. So I'm not giving away certain things. I never share that I'm away until after I'm away, when I'm traveling for work or something like that. And there's certain things that I don't talk about, you know, because I need to make sure that, you know, my family is safe, because there are crazies out there, but I don't think it really increases things when it comes to being a Beachbody coach. I think it's just a social media thing. Anyone you follow or is following you. And that goes too, you got to look at the people who follow you and determine if they are someone you want to follow you. You know, you may not want to follow them back. It might be some, you know, creepy dude from Texas that is not someone that you would want to work with, or you would want to be your customer. If they're following you and they don't look like the type of people you want to have following you, block them. They won't see your posts. They won't see your comments. They won't see your followers. They won't see anything about it. I guess, you know, that's sort of the best advice that I have. It's going to happen no matter what. But if you ever feel uncomfortable with anybody, just block them quickly. And that's the best thing that you can do. And then, like I said, don't share things that you're not comfortable sharing. I don't often talk. Oh, one thing I do too is when I post, and I like to use the geotags, but I don't always post Wilmington. So if you look at my posts, a lot of them you'll see just Boston, or you'll see all of the surrounding towns. So somebody from, I don't know, the United Arab Emirates, first country that popped into my head, is following me, and they want to look at it. They're going to have no clue where I live. They're going to be like, yeah, this dude lives somewhere in Massachusetts, but I guess most of his posts are Boston, so maybe he lives there. There's a few posts from Billerica, Woburn, and Reading, and Wilmington, and Framingham, and all over the place. So this guy moves around the state quite a bit. And there's no rhyme or reason. I just pick a random Massachusetts town most of the time when I post, or if I'm posting a picture of like a throwback or something like that, I'll post where it was. Like if I post a picture from last year's summit, I'll tag Indianapolis. Or if I post a picture from the Success Club cruise, I'll tag the Bahamas, or Labradee or whatever. So just play around with it, mix around with it. Marcy, Florida is a big state, so you've got a lot of different places you can tag, and people won't have a clue where to find you. And they're not going to go through that effort. So, all right. So, different things that you can post about. Definitely post about your daily life and things that you're comfortable sharing. Marcy, you mentioned in a little while ago that your niche is young widows and people with nutrition deficiencies and people who are empty nesters. So talk about that stuff. And if your daughters are making fun of you on social media, talk about that stuff. I remember you did a story clip about your daughters making fun of you on something like that, and I thought it was hilarious. So talk about that stuff. Meredith, talk about teaching. Talk about homeschooling. Things that drive you nuts. Just talk about that stuff, because that is what people are going to be attracted to. They're going to be like, yeah, Meredith is a teacher and I love following her because she's got a good perspective on that stuff. Do your workouts and take anywhere from 1 to 3. Don't go beyond 3. 1 to 3 video clips of you doing your workout. It's 15 to 45 seconds. Do move of the day. A lot of coaches will just do their picture, holding up Energize. And I did one today. Show you what mine looked like. This was mine from today. Oops. I'll hold this down. So I have my Energize. There you can see the Berry Energize and me holding up that, and the caption just says, Legacy Fuel going down, lunchtime jam session about to go down, let's go. And I put the time down often too. So use that time feature in there to like post what time it is. And don't feel like you're posting the same thing every day. Feel like I'm posting the same thing every day because I'm consistent. So I'm going to start posting about Energize every day because I want people to ask me about it. And then the next clips are 3 clips, and I tag you guys in one of them. So you see my workouts every day because I tag you guys for accountabilities. Feel free to tag me back. And I just put like accountability check, and then I have a few people on each post. Now just know you can only tag up to 10 people on each story clip. So that's why I separate it and I don't just put everybody on one. But you don't have to get fancy with it. A lot of the coaches will use TikTok or they'll use Trilla and they'll make a fancy dance. Do what's natural to you. I was doing the Trilla thing and just mixing it up with my own country music. I wasn't using it the way other coaches. You're not going to see me dancing around in between my workouts. I'm down to business. So it's all about being authentic to who you are. Do not feel like you need to copy any other coach. Just be authentic to who you are. So right now, like my 3 clips are basically 3 different moves or 3 15-second segments of my workout. And sometimes I'll attach music. Recently, I've been liking the motivational talk. You can just go into music. I type in fearless motivation, and then I pick one of the clips that speaks to me, and then I will match up the music on the next 2 clips so I can expand to a different segment of the motivational speech. And that's how I've been doing those recently. But those workout clips are great. Use the products. Beachbody advises not showing the brand names. So you'll see me holding up a water bottle with Energize in it. and then I'll call it Legacy Fuel. I'll have little thunderbolts coming out of it. Or if I use Recover, I'll have like the flexed arm emoji on it, and I'll talk about all natural recovery fuel. Just different things like that. Shakeology is basically generic. We just pretty much everyone calls it superfoods, and I'll talk about healthy. I'll hold up my Shakeology. Just about to drink 6 salads, or something like that. So people will be like, "What the hell is he talking about? He's got a chocolate shake." Or I'll do shake of the day, and I'll put the ingredients that I made in my shake. Something like that to promote Shakeology without calling it Shakeology. I had a person that I went to high school with today, and he's like, "Hey, Joe," he's like, is this what you drink? And he had a picture of Shakeology. And I said, "Oh yeah, did you just get some?" And he goes, "Actually, my neighbor gave my son a bag of it," or whatever. He's like, "It tastes really good." So I'm talking with him about whether he wants to start ordering it. The other thing is healthy meals. So you're following your nutrition plan. And I don't post enough about these because I'm not great at plating. And sometimes my plates are all messy. But I know others are very good with plating. And I mean, just play around with it. And just when you put your food on a plate, or if you're making something healthy, take a picture of it and post it. Post your lunch. You're having a healthy salad, take a picture of it, post it. But don't just say, "Hey, here's my salad." Talk about why you're having it. And then invitations, promote groups. So, when you're posting your workout clips, or if you're talking about challenge groups, or if you're talking about the coaching opportunity, put out a call to action. You can use polls. Like, if I sent you information, would you be interested? Yes, maybe. Never when you're doing a poll, never do a negative option. Don't say yes or no. Would you be interested? Yes, no. It would be like, would you be interested? Yes, sign me up. Send me more info. Or I need this. Let's go. Something like that. Like, always provide 2 positive options. And that way, no matter if somebody clicks the button, it doesn't matter which option they click, it's a positive option. You don't want to have yes, no, and 90% of the people say no, because there's always an option on your stories once it expires to be able to share the results. So you can share, that you had these results. And sometimes it might not be call to action. It could be something like, it could just be something about your daily life. I don't know. I can't even think of something. I don't know. Like, I'm going to think of something taboo. Should I shave the beard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No way, dude. I'd seriously think about that. I'd seriously think, no way, dude. Throw out the razor. So those would be 2 options there. It would never be yes or no, because I don't want to see 90% or 95% of the people saying yes. So, because believe it or not, there are beard haters out there. And you know what? I don't care. But if I ever threw that out, which I wouldn't, but something similar, you want 2 positive options. But you can use those polls. You can use questions. You can use whatever to do a promotion. Once you get up to 10,000 followers, you can do the swipe up feature, which is very helpful. But you can, and as a little cheat, you can still say swipe up, because when they swipe up, if you have less than 10,000 followers, it starts a message between that from them to you. So swipe up for you might mean, hey, send me a message. Swipe up and send me a message, or something like that. You want to make it easy for people to say, yeah, I'm interested. So polls are a great way to do that. And then recognition and shout outs. So one way that I do this in my IG story is like anyone who tags me in their workout, I will post that. Or anyone who tags me in a story clip, you know, I'll post it and I'll say something, you know, about and give them a shout out or something like that. Or if somebody achieves something like my coach Brooke is a 3-star as of today, and she's 4-star qualifying. So after this call, I'm going to update my story a little bit further, and I'm going to give her a shout out. I'm also going to shout out my success partner, Mike, who just reached Diamond today as well. So I'm going to give 2 shout outs today. So get in the habit of shouting people out, because it does two things. One, it makes the person you're shouting out feel good. So like when you guys both achieve Emerald, you bet your bottom you're going to get a shout out from me. When you achieve any rank advancement, or if you achieve something that is special to you, I'm going to give you guys a shout out, because I want you guys to feel good. I want you to feel part of not just this team and this community, but of this family that we're growing. But it also gives other people insight, as in the community that we have. They're like, look at Joe shouting out his team members. That's pretty awesome. I would love to be shouted out. Maybe I want to join that team. So that is the recognition and shout out part. The next parts are pretty self-explanatory. And again, these are separate calls on their own. So I'm going to go through them quickly, because I think we'll dedicate some calls to these later on. But it all circles around inviting and following up and engaging with people. So you do a post and you get a whole bunch of likes, you get comments, you get views on your stories. What do you do? So they all tie together. You know, maybe you just communicate, thank them. Hey, thanks for the like. Really appreciate it. Ask them a question. You know, it could be simple, like, how are you holding up in your neck of the woods? Inviting. So Beachbody advises at least 5 invites a day to something. Inviting to me is whatever you feel like it is. It could be inviting to a free group. It could be inviting to a challenge group. It could be inviting to the coaching opportunity. It could be following up with somebody. So I kind of blend these 3 together. But when you're building your business and you're setting up the time that you're going to work on your business, whether it's an hour a day, whether it's 2 hours a day, or 3 hours, whatever it ends up being, these 3 items should be at least half of the time that you're spending. The other stuff matters, but it doesn't matter as much as these 3. Because if you're not inviting, you're not building. Because as great as your posts can be, and I've written a lot of good posts, people will read them and they'll be inspired by them, but they won't come flocking to you. You have to reach out to them. And then the last 2 sections of the BAT, getting people results. So this is participating in the challenge group, running the challenge group. You guys are both in mine right now. And Meredith's in the meeting twice. But you guys are in mine right now, and you guys feel free to post as much or whatever you guys want to inspire the group that's in there. You can add new people to the group and coach them in the group. And you can also be part of leading the group with me. Just let me know. And I'm happy to give you guys the opportunity to help me lead the group, because that's what I've been looking for a while. So I never view this group as my group. This is our group, and that goes even beyond our team. That's even our challengers. It's their group too. So anyone who wants to be heard in the group will be heard. So contributing and adding value to the group. And it says bod groups. You guys are both in the bod group. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% there on the bod groups. I like my Facebook group right now. It's really active. And I feel more connected with the people in the group than I do with all the same people. Every single person in the bod group is in our Facebook group. I just feel more connected with even those people who are in the bod group. I feel more connected with them in the Facebook group. I feel like I just show up and track in the bod group, and I have to go through and spend effort to go see what other people have done. And I don't feel that in Facebook. I see it right away. But hopefully they continue. I'm going to keep the bod group going with a small group, and I'm going to watch how they improve it, because it's way better than it used to be, and I'm sure they're going to continue to make improvements. Recognize achievements in there. Meredith posted an amazing post the other day, and I think you got a lot of love, and it was authentic love, not just from me, but from everybody in our group. And when somebody posts something like that, or if they, even if they share a recipe or something like that, or if they share that they lost 5 pounds, just cheer them on, recognize them, shout them out. Or if you have a challenger in the group who has gone 7 for 7, their first 7 for 7 on our tracker, and I definitely have to do the tracker tonight. I suck at that. But if you notice a challenger who's been super consistent, shout them out publicly. Say, hey, just want to shout out so-and-so for hitting her first 7 days or something like that. I got to get better at that too. But the problem is there's been so many of you guys who have been so consistent that I've been shouting everybody out at the same time, because you're all awesome. It's like there's so many people who are 100% and we're like on day like 25 or something like that. It's like amazing. But anyway, respond to the question. If you have questions from any customers or other coaches in the group, you guys know anytime you send me a question, I'm quick to answer. But just be quick to answer the questions of your customers and coaches. And the last thing is personal development. You've got to do it. You've got to be recognizing the areas where you want to grow. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. So it's a good time to end the call, but I'll wrap it up with personal development. You got to do it. Find things that are meaningful for you in the season of your life that you're in. Don't necessarily listen to the next person. Oh, this was a great book. It changed my business around. Well, yeah, it did that for them because that was what they were lacking in development. Everybody is different. Some people are confident, but they suck with organization. Other people are super organized and they're afraid of their own shadow. So figure out the things that you need. And you should always be reading a book or listening to a podcast or listening to an audio. I'm always listening to an audiobook. And, figure out what it is. And maybe it's a book on network marketing. That's what I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to Get Over Your Damn Self. It's not the typical book that I listen to because the author geared it towards women network marketers, but there's so many valuable tips in that book for me right now. about making connections with other people. But different things. Habits, how to form habits is something that's good. Books about motivation, books about productivity, books about confidence, books about leadership. Whatever you feel you're lacking, find books. And if you need any advice, I've read so many books over the last 3 years. If you're like, hey, Joe, I'm looking for a great book on productivity or organization, time management, confidence, whatever it is, something that will motivate me to show up on the days that I don't want to, then, just send me a message and I'll guarantee I'll have a few recommendations for you. But don't send me a message saying, hey, I need a good personal development book. Because the question I'm going to ask back is, okay, what are you struggling with right now? So you might as well tell me what you want the topic to be first. So think about that. What do I need right now? And those are the types of things that we can do. So that's all I had to share. Meredith, do you have any other questions on Instagram? Because I know you asked for the topic to be that, but.
I just see so I haven't commented in the Liberate page a lot, but I see a lot of people like, I'm an Instagram jail. I can't get Instagram to post. So I didn't know if there was anything that, I should kind of be aware of getting back into the game, since I haven't really posted on that network in a while.
Instagram jail is a tricky thing. I've been in it before. I was in it. Last time I was in it was one of the worst times I could be in it. It was over Christmas week, which covered my twins' birthday. So I wasn't able to post on their birthday. I wasn't able to post on Christmas Eve or Christmas. I wasn't able to post until 2 days after Christmas. And you know what? I said, screw you, Instagram. Everything that I wanted to post, I wrote all the posts out. I had them all ready, had all the pictures ready, and I just spammed Instagram right after that. Over the next
Is there anything
week.
I should not do to prevent it, or
so I did something that got me into Instagram jail. I was using a company that was helping me grow my network. That's a big no-no in Instagram rules, and I knew the risks, and I don't regret it because I reaped the benefits of it. But I stopped doing it, and I haven't had an issue with Instagram since.
Okay.
If you're doing things normal, it's hard to get into Instagram jail. So if you're not having a company, and the company was basically doing things that I already do. And, I talked about how to grow your network. I had them doing the work of me, but they were doing it faster. So finding people in my niche and liking posts, and I wasn't having them comment because I just felt that was skeevy and not authentic, but they were liking posts. And sometimes they were liking weird posts, but for the most part, this last company that I settled on was getting a really good shot. And they got me some connections with some people that I probably would never have found, that are really cool people, and I've genuinely started conversations with and talked to. So the people would follow me back because I followed them and liked some posts, even though it was the computer doing the work, a lot of times while I was sleeping. When they followed me back, I would authentically send them a message and introduce myself, and they would write back, and I would build a relationship from there. Instagram didn't like the fact that this company, and they kind of irritated me because they kept changing servers and they kept logging into my account from random places in North America. So they were logging in from Toronto, then they were logging in from California, and they were logging in from Chicago and all of these places. And Instagram kind of figured out, hey, how is this guy getting all over the country so quickly? And they warned me a couple times. They gave me 24-hour lock, but then they gave me the full week lock, and that kind of, I was like, okay, you guys are done, because you got me blocked on my kid's birthday, and that's not cool. But anyway, so I got all those posts out after, but as long as you're not doing things super quick, like don't go down and follow like 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
If you take those actions very quickly, Instagram will think you're being a spammer and they will block you, put you in Instagram jail. 99 times out of 100, it's a 24-hour jail, and the 24-hour jail is not a big deal. The good thing about the 1 week jail that I was put in, I was still able to post to my stories, and I was still able to message people. So I just posted my story, and heck, I posted still in Instagram jail. Don't know what I did. I pretended like I didn't know what I did. I knew what I did, but whatever.
Meredith, there's there is a balance you need to maintain between how many people that you follow and how many people that are following you.
Okay.
And you don't want, eventually, right now, you just have to start making connections. But when you get to a certain level, you need to decrease the amount of people you're following so that there's a significant gap.
Okay.
And when you do that, you get an algorithm bump.
Okay.
And also, don't unfollow more than like 10 people a day.
Right.
You
Because
can
if
do
you do a
more
mass,
than that.
I don't
You do a
know.
little bit more than that. I do. It's the algorithm that I've heard, and I always do 49 because I know the limit is 50. If you do more than 50, and you can do a little bit more, but you got to space it out. Like I often,
It's a percentage.
Yeah.
It's a percentage of the amount of people
True.
that you have.
True. So, and I have a bigger percentage, but what I do, and I use an app to do it. So it is instant because it's wicked easy. I use an app called The Cleaner, and Instagram doesn't like The Cleaner. But what The Cleaner does is it tells me people that I'm following that aren't following me back.
Right.
And if I'm following somebody and they're following me back, that's totally cool. They have a little green circle around, little green indicator. But if they don't, they have a yellow indicator, which means that I've been following them, but they're not following me. Now, some people, that's okay. Tom Brady has the right not to follow me back, even though I would really like him to, especially since he left New England and went to Marcy's Tampa Bay. And also The Rock. The Rock doesn't follow many people at all. And that's just his thing. He has a lot of followers. He's following like 100 people. And he's got like a million people following him. That's his thing. But what Marcy's saying is true. I mean, I think I have over 15,000 followers, but I'm only following like 3,000, and that number continues to go down because, and I'm not as consistent with this. I don't do The Cleaner every day, although I'd like to do it once a day. But I go through and I find like 49 people that aren't following me, and then I hit unfollow. And another way to do it, and I think this might be something, you guys can tell me if this isn't the case, but I think this might be something with a creator account. But if you go to your Instagram page and you click follow them, and you look at your the people you're following, and it's very hard, but you can see this up here at the very top. There's a section up at the very top that says least interacted with. And it will show you the 50 accounts that you're following who you've interacted with the least. So that is helpful in multiple ways. And when you click on that, it brings up a list of 50 people. So I first go through the list. I go through the list and I'll look and I'll say, okay, Brooke Hash. So I open up her page and then I look at following and I say, is Brooke Hash following me? Yes, she is. Okay, Brooke Hash is safe. So I might send her a connection message, and I have a connection message written out. It basically goes like, hi, my name is Joe Saya. I'm from Massachusetts. I live here with my wife and 3 sons. And I always, when I'm connecting with new people, especially women, I always mention my wife and I mention my kids because I want them to know that I'm making a genuine connection with them and not trying to slide into their DMs, as the kids say. Because that's not what I'm about. I'm about business here. And I'm only, and again, I'm going to look at this person's, I'm not going to send it now, but I'm going to look at this person's account. I'm only going to message her if I feel like it's somebody that I'd like to work with, and somebody who's in my tribe, so to speak. This person doesn't look like somebody in my tribe. She looks closer to that like 20-something-year-old woman. Nothing wrong with them. They are totally cool, and eventually we'll have a bunch on our team, but other coaches will sign them up, not me. But if this person were in my tribe, I would send them a connection message. But if she wasn't following me, I would just unfollow. Okay. And that lowers my number there too. So out of like 50 people, and it takes me a while to go through this, and Instagram is big on speed too. So if you're and it takes me, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 seconds or something like that, sifting through sometimes a little bit quicker, sometimes like 10 seconds to determine that I'm going to unfollow. And then sometimes like I'll have like 6 or 7 people in a row that I'm going to continue to follow. Like I'm not going to unfollow her because she's following me. Who knows? I'm not going to reach out and message her, but you never know. Maybe she'll see a post and she'll message me. And if somebody messages me, even though they're not in my niche, I will respond back, and it can certainly lead to something. But again, only if I'm comfortable. Like in your case, if some skeevy guy reaches out to you and says, hey, what's that golden stuff you're drinking? You may look at it and go, yeah, I don't know. But that's up to you guys. But that's another way that I've recently started to weed out the people who aren't following me, because I'll go through that list and I'd say it's probably like a 40-60 split, like somewhere between 40 and 60% are people who are following me back. So I'll just get rid of the other people. So out of 50, I'm generally getting rid of like maybe 20 or 22 people right then and there, but it takes a little bit more time. So Instagram's a little bit more forgiving there. But generally, just to get back to your original question, as long as you don't act too quickly and do things too much, you won't get into Instagram jail. If you just go down and like you're in a group, and one of the ways to expand connections is find someone that you really like Tom Brady, and look at Tom Brady's post and look at all the people that are liking Tom Brady's post. And you could go down and go bam, 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 and start following all the people that like Tom Brady's post. Do it slowly and limit yourself. So like Marcy said, go down and and I don't know how many followers you have on Instagram, but go down and do like 10. And then as your network grows, then maybe increase it to 12 or 15. And then as it grows, then you can go up to 20. Like I will go up and I make sure that everything's less than 50. Sometimes I only do 40 because I want to stay away from that limit. And from what I heard is you can do up to 50 and then wait a few hours and then do it again and then wait a few hours and do it again. But I'm very leery of getting into Instagram jail. Again, a day is not a big deal. The only thing that they prevent you from doing is liking other posts. And this is how I was getting into trouble too. Sometimes the algorithm of my growth service was liking too many posts too quickly. And so I had to tell them to slow it down anytime I got into jail. Because they got me into 24-hour jail at least 2-3 times. And then they got me into the full week jail once. And that's when I got rid of them. So that's that. The stuff on the bottom is always important just to track your results. Number of new followers. I never do it because it's just too much work for me to track how many new followers. Although the insights can tell you that, so I can look at the insights and see what my net followers are. And quite frankly, this last couple of weeks, I've had a decrease in followers because I've spoken my mind on Black Lives Matter, and that's going to happen. And don't be afraid to lose followers. Be you, be authentic, because if someone doesn't like you for who you are, then that's not someone you need following you. Again, feel comfortable having 100 solid followers than 10,000 people who are just following your account and don't care about you at all. But definitely track your new challengers and your new coaches. Beachbody tracks your Success Club points. So again, I don't necessarily see that part of it all. I'm going to save this Shakeology follow-up guide for another time because I haven't even committed to start using it. But the theory behind it, and they have the explanation here, is that when you get a new customer, you can track time points for you to check in on them. Like example here, Sue Jones, her health goal was to feel better. So check in on her after a week and say, hey, how you liking Shakeology? Check in after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Then in month 2, check in on her twice. And then in month 3, check in on her once. And the feeling is once you get somebody committed to Shakeology for 3 months and they're drinking it every day, that they're going to see the benefits of it and they're going to continue drinking, and your Shakeology retention will be a lot better. So there, I guess I went over it. So that's that. That's all I got to say. We went a little bit over, but do you guys have any questions?
I have an unrelated question that came up today, if you have a second.
Absolutely.
So there's a woman I work with in my district. We've had a couple grade levels, so I know her pretty well. She is a client of Beachbody. I believe she's a client. So she has kind of restarted. She just finished MM100 and has kind of become more consistent again. And I've been noticing her posts on social media. So I reached out today and I just said, like, I've noticed, your positivity, like you're a natural leader, like trying to get her to see if she wants to join the crew, and be a coach. And she replied and said that she had a Beachbody coach a while back and she feels like her coach benefited from, all her effort, and she feels like, she was never good at coaching. So I guess something happened she just feels like her coach made all this, gain from her experience and her kind of branching out. And this girl feels like she didn't. And so she's afraid that, like, if she even tries to start coaching again, that either there aren't many people that are kind of wanting to do it or that they're already Beachbody coaches. And I kind of understand where she's coming from because, I mean, there's a lot of people doing this. And also in our district too, like it's like a huge thing. So like, obviously that's her warm market, right? And we have to like build the branch out of that.
Look at it this way. We just opened up in France a week ago. There's not a lot of people working there. Now, again, I'm not saying go like learn French and start inviting French, although I did send an invite to somebody today from France, somebody who I've been Facebook friends and who's been following me. I just remember she was one of my original followers, like back when I had less than 100 followers. She was there, and then she sent me a Facebook friend request. So I reached out to her, and I did sort of a passive thing where I was like, would you know anybody who would be interested in doing this since we just opened up in France? Also, just so you guys know, because this could benefit our team in the future. My company is based in France, so I work with people from France every single day. And eventually, when COVID is over, I will be traveling to France, and I will be posting about France, and I am determined to lay Legacy Fit's flag in France, even though I do not speak a word of the language other than bonjour. But in terms of inviting, just talk to her and say, hey, you know what? I felt any objection comes down to you empathizing. Hey, I totally feel the same way. And I actually just restarted coaching. And talk about who you're coaching with. Talk about, I'm coaching with not my upline coach, but I'm coaching with his upline because my upline's not really working the business that much right now.
Meredith, I have a very similar situation.
I was just about to share that, but you go ahead.
This is my third. Joe is my third coach.
Okay? And last.
And last, I started with a friend from high school. Did not go well. Then I found a girl online, and she's actually elite, all the things. I think she's like in the top 100. And she's only been doing this for like 3 years, and she's already way on up there. And her group is so big, I got lost.
Yeah.
And they all most of them happen to be professional ballerinas, Pilates instructors.
Yeah.
Personal trainers to professional athletes, wife of famous Navy SEALs, someone from a reality show that's on Netflix is in that group.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you've seen Love is Blind, but one of the girls from Love is Blind is in that group. And I got so lost.
Yeah.
Now I live probably 45, 50 minutes from Lindsay Matway. Bonnie Engel, all these girls that are top coaches live within an hour of me. Some of them live just the next town over. I'm surrounded by Beachbody. And I thought I was never going to get a fair shake because everyone around here is doing it or has done it. When you look at my Instagram, I'm full of Beachbody, but it's because they're genuinely my friends that live around here. But I go to, I'm a student at IIN. That's the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And it's a health coaching certification. And it's a very intensive program. And it may seem like you guys are slammed and inundated with Beachbody and everybody's doing it. But I promise you there are more people that need it than are doing it. So you just have to step outside of it. And remember, this isn't just for people that want to lose weight. This is for people that have they just need to get healthy. It's not necessarily about getting skinny, but getting healthy.
And I guess I feel like that's where I feel weak is I really don't get, like, I quote unquote tried to step out and it was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't Dave was like, well, just search this group and then go and like a bunch of stuff and then email random people. And I was like, but I'm doing that.
But
I'm like a crazy person.
This is probably my 10th Instagram training.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that there is a benefit in staying small and working with Joe because you have that undivided attention. Okay.
Right.
And kind of, if you can, flatline what you think you knew and just be open to receive what you're getting now in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how many people around you are doing what you do. No one will do it like you. You personally will speak to somebody. Your people will find you. I promise.
Okay.
So remember, you're not going to have the same people that your friend does or your coworkers or your entire school does. People will be drawn to you and want to work with you.
Okay.
And
so
guys,
I'll try and resonate that message kind of with her over the next couple of days. I'll give it a day or two and check back in with her and kind of see.
and just
see if
a couple added points to that, and that was awesome, Marcy.
Yeah, thank you.
Look at Marcy was not happy where she was with her second coach. She knew about Lindsay Matway. She knew about Bonnie Engel, two amazing. Lindsay Matway, she's got to be the richest coach in the entire network. I mean, she's got Scotty Hobbs under her, and he's probably her 7th or 10th most successful coach. She's got the Fitzpatricks under her because she's got the Fitzpatrick's coach. What's his name? Oh God, I forget his name. Miguel from Canada. She signed Miguel. Miguel signed Jamie Fitzpatrick. Jamie's got his wife, who's now number 8 in the network under Lindsay. Lindsay can just sit back and she's got, she owns the top 10 basically. But Marcy picked me to be her coach, not them. And I'm not going to be like, haha, because, they went out 9,000 times out of 100, 99,000 times out of, 100,000, whatever. But the point is, I could sit there and say, well, I have no shot, because anyone who knows about Beachbody could just go to this person. And,
right.
Or, if they want a dude coach, they could go to Jamie Fitzpatrick. They could go to Pat Reelman on our own team, Team Boom. There's so many different coaches that they can go, but they're going to sign up with who they resonate. And I'm going to tell you, I did not think that I would ever be Marcy's coach. Well, at one point I did, way back when we first met, and, just being totally honest, her and I we made a genuine connection, and we were talking, and at the time she was not happy with her coach. I thought maybe she would switch over at that point in time, but I never pushed you, did I? In fact, I encouraged you, and I always do this because I don't steal people from other coaches. I respect other coaches, even though I don't know her coach. And I said, maybe you didn't give your coach a fair shake. Maybe reach out to her, see how it goes again. And you did. And you went into her challenge group and you confirmed that it wasn't for you.
And I made it to Emerald.
Mm-hmm. You made it to Emerald. She made it to coach, which is how she got into Beachbody jail. But anyway, she still decided that long-term it wasn't the right fit, and that being part of our team is that right fit. Now, you guys know my style. I form a genuine connection with my challengers and with my coaches. And so we're going to have these meetings often. Now, as this team gets bigger and the squares get smaller on the screen, the team meetings are not going to be those time and places, but we're going to have smaller leadership meetings, 1-on-1s, 1-on-3s, whatever, 1-on-4 people, whatever, where we can have these small leadership meetings. Because as you guys grow your team, so even though my team might get big, then it's time for you guys to jump out and create your own team and already start having that mindset. Okay? Have that mindset where you're part of Legacy Fit, and you will always be part of Legacy Fit, but we're partners. And you guys have your team, and I will support your team. And we'll have these leadership meetings where I can coach you at the level that you're at. Because by the time that you reach another level, I'm going to reach another level. I'm not at the level of a 5-star diamond yet. I will be someday. And hopefully you guys are at the level of diamond and 2-star diamond and 3-star diamond at that point in time. Or who knows, maybe I'm getting a 5-star and you've already reached 15-star superstar diamond. Because if that's the case and you're up on stage, I'm going to be in the front row cheering you guys on louder than anybody. Because again, we are a team, but I want you guys to feel like as my team grows bigger, you guys can bump up and you'll start over with a small team and your team will grow bigger. And your leaders, you'll be looking for your leaders. And they're going to break off from you and build their team. And it's sad and stuff like that. Maybe they're not always on every team call, and maybe you guys won't always be on my team calls because you'll have other meetings that you'll need to be at. But it's also a happy time because the goal here is to get more people advocating for good health, because that's where we're creating this ripple effect, and we are expanding out and helping more people. And that's the goal of Team Legacy Fit, is to have our legacy be helping other people. So, any other questions?
Joe, I want to talk to you offline maybe next week about business stuff.
Sure. Absolutely. How do you guys feel about having a weekly meeting?
Yeah.
We can go over.
I'm okay with it as long as it's not Wednesday or Friday.
Oh, no. We can do it Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like Friday meetings unless they're really, really important.
Meredith and I are connected on social media now, so.
Yeah, that was fast. I was like, it's Marcy.
You're the only person on our team besides Joe that I'm friends with.
Excellent. I like it.
Our team is small. Our team is small, but we're going to grow. And again, I'll come up with a new topic for Thursday night, and we'll have these meetings. And I'm also going to create a new Team Legacy Fit page. I don't know what I'm going to post there, but I'll post some good stuff there. But and then we'll go from there. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. Yeah. Marcy, since you've got a unique situation, I also wanted to talk to you too at some point about things that you can do, while you're in jail. But I also want to make sure that you're just taking the time to feel comfortable with all the different things. But there's no better way to feel comfortable than just by taking action. And that's what I wanted to say. Sorry to extend this just a little bit longer. Meredith, you had mentioned about sometimes you're just getting back into it and you feel like an idiot for posting this, that, and the other thing. Don't ever feel that way. Every time you take action, you get better. I scroll back and I look at like my original Instagram posts about Beachbody, and they were crazy, stupid. Seriously, go back, look on Bonnie Engle's page. I've done it. Look on Jamie Fitzpatrick's page. I've done it. Scroll all the way back to the beginning when they first became a coach. Jamie Fitzpatrick, scroll all the way back. It's like January of 2015 or something like that. He became a coach like, I don't know, 6 months before I did, which is crazy considering he was like top 6 in the network and I'm like me. But anyway, his posts sucked in the beginning, but he didn't let that stop him. Don't worry about it. Again, you are where you are, and just you're going to get better at doing things. The way you post today is not going to be the way you post 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 6 years from now. Just commit to staying and getting better every day. Just be consistent. So I'll leave you guys with this very quick thing that Pat Reelman always talks about. Picture an escalator in the mall, right? That escalator's going down, and you're at the bottom of the escalator. It's the only way to get up the top of the escalator, because there's no other escalator that's going up, this one's going down. You have to climb up that downward moving escalator. It's hard. And as you're working your way up, it's pushing you, slowly pushing you back down too. But if you stop, you're going to let that escalator bring you all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to have to start over again. But if you work hard enough, little by little, you're going to be going up faster than it's going to be pushing you back down. And eventually you're going to reach the top. So commit to staying on the escalator. And I've done this way too many times where I've stopped, I've slowed down, I go a week without inviting anybody, and that escalator just brings me right back down to the bottom. You know, I'll make Success Club 4 in the first like 2 weeks of the month. And then I'm like, oh, great. I have 2 more weeks to get 2 more points. No, that shouldn't be the mindset. It should be, damn, I want to make Success Club 10 because I want to be helping 5 people. Or I want to make Success Club 20 because I want to be helping 10 people. And I'm running and I'm already halfway through the month. I need to pick it up and have that urgency. So set scary goals and just commit to taking action, because that's the only way you get better. All right. So don't ever feel like anything you're doing is stupid. You're on your journey and people are going to love you for who you are, where you are. They're going to relate to where you are today. So, and that's not to say that if once you reach a whole series of fitness goals that you can't reach out to other people, but you're just going to have to get better at sharing the story of where you are today. Like, I don't sit there and I talk all the time. You guys know how many pounds did I lose? Anyone know?
I'm like, I can see the number.
I think it's like 65 or something, isn't it?
Very close. It was actually, I always say like 70 pounds, but it was really 69. So it was very close.
Oh, look how close I was.
That was pretty good.
I was 1 cheeseburger away, man. 1.
There you go. Well, that's a big ass cheeseburger. But everybody knows. And what medication did I stop taking?
Cholesterol.
Very good. Why do you guys know that? Because you've read it in my posts. So right now you're sharing where you are in your journey. Later on, and when you're ripped and have 6 packs and everything like that, then you have to be good and be comfortable sharing your story. All right. So let's take a nice end of meeting selfie, because that's what all the cool coaches do.
I already took one and posted it.
You did? Oh, totally cool, but I can post my own.
Wait, get the document off. Stop sharing don't share your screen.
Well, I have the documents done. So you guys haven't been able to see me the whole time.
No, we could. You were just that big.
You're just small.
Okay. Got it. Anyway, all right, smile, everybody. There we go. Cool beans. All right. So that's that. I'm going to post, I don't know where I'm going to post the meeting, but once I create the group, which will be this week, I'll post the recording for this so you guys can always refer to it. And that's that. All right, guys. So reach out if you have any questions, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.